All right, what's going on, folks? Good morning out there here along the West Coast. I guess maybe it might be afternoon for some folks out there, or even evening. Uh, September 10th, 2020, about 7:43 a.m. West Coast time here, and notice a pretty strong earthquake swarm going on up at Yellowstone National Park. That started pretty much right after my last update video last night. I noticed one little spike on the Lake Yellowstone seismograph station, and I did mention that towards the end of the video there. And it seemed to have stirred up since then. This here is just only showing about 12 earthquakes here, but I'm going to show you guys the seismographs here from the park, showing that there's way more than 12 earthquakes. But nonetheless, they're definitely pretty good size earthquakes for an earthquake swarm. A lot of times we see microquakes and hardly ever reaching up to 2.5 or so, but a bunch below. Today we're seeing upwards of about 2.9 in the magnitude department. USGS showing 12 earthquakes here. Southwest of Yellowstone National Park, just north of Heart Lake, it looks like there. Yellowstone National Park sits out there in Wyoming, of course. You can see that little swarm of activity there. This is kind of similar in the area where we seen the earthquake swarm back in 2000. What was it? 2008, 2009, late winter, or actually late December into January. I'm sure you guys remember that. It was pretty big deal, hot topic back then. I think that activity was a little bit more up here, right at Lake Yellowstone, but nonetheless, this here is within about 10 miles or so of the prior activity there. Of course, we have swarms all over the place here in Yellowstone. It's very common, but when it does happen, it's very interesting to watch and to keep an eye on. Let me go ahead and refresh this so I can show you guys the latest image here. You can see a lot of these earthquakes showing up rather strong, like I said, on all of these seismograph stations here, which shows that they're, the magnitudes are up there a little bit on that earthquake level. And there's a lot of them. Centralized area, here's Lake Yellowstone, right? You can kind of see the outline of the graph here. Lake Yellowstone seismograph station itself is down for some oddball reason, but we can also see obviously the earthquake activity on the other seismographs here. A little west of them. Let's see, when did I go to bed? It's pretty early. I actually got a little bit of sleep, but I woke up pretty early, so that's what I've been doing, cleaning a lot when I can't sleep. So a couple earthquakes there right around about the time I made the video. Since then, they kind of increased in multitude. Just up here on these graphs alone, you can see 1, 2. You can count all these right here. You got about 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 earthquakes just within this little section here where the finger pointer is. Starts getting a lot heavier within this area. You're looking at maybe another 15 or so. And then in here, you just get a huge cluster of back-to-back quakes here. The larger quakes, the 2.9 quakes, showing up on the strong defined red line right here. Those are those higher magnitude quakes. I don't believe we're seeing anything over a 3.0 in this cluster of quakes here, but the multitude of them is definitely increasing pretty rapidly, and it's still ongoing. Let's see if you can show you guys the live seismograph station view here of Yellowstone National Park. Let's see where to go here. It's coming up around the bend. Give it a second there. Where are we at here? Mammoth. Okay, Lake Yellowstone coming up right after this station here. I can't pull it up any further. There we go. You can see a little earthquake right there happening. Even some of these smaller spikes right there on this seismograph station there, indicative of microquakes. But definitely showing up pretty good there. It's kind of weird. I am using the Lake Yellowstone station there live graph, and it's coming in live, but it's not being recorded on the on this one, which is pretty strange. So yeah, that's pretty weird. Anyway, that's a lot going on there, folks, all at once. It's common. We do see earthquake swarms. I was kind of wondering when we may have one. And, it looks like last night decided to answer my curiosity on when we could see one again. Pretty much localized right around the central part of the park here, folks, and that's an area, I guess, where we've kind of seen some before, like I mentioned there in Yellowstone, Lake Yellowstone. The big one that lasted for about, oh man, it was like 4 months long, just day after day of non-stop earthquake swarms, hundreds a day, I believe was, I'm trying to think where that was at. I think that was over here in the northwest corner, if I remember correctly. So it scoots around. I will be checking out the CO2 levels and the GPS level locations here. I did check this, I think, last month here, and everything looked normal. Of course, with all the plate tectonics, all the major earthquakes going on around the globe, underground movement, the tilt back of the Earth going into winter months, all has a play, on potentially what's going on there in Yellowstone National Park. So I will be checking out all the graphs and whatnot, and including links to all the graphs that I will be showing in the update video a little bit later on. But for now, just kind of getting the word out there that there is a pretty good sized swarm kicking up at Yellowstone National Park. And it's, typical. But it's been a while since we've seen a pretty good sized swarm like this. We'll see how long it lingers and see if it kicks up any more swarms in different areas of the park. Sometimes when we see, localized swarm, it could stir up activity further up north or anywhere within the area. But for right now, it's pretty well localized there to the, like I said, to this area. Little West Thumb, right around Grant Village as well. Looks like a pretty good signatures there. This is actually a little bit closer, it looks like, to the epicenter of the swarm. You can see all these little spikes, folks. There's probably a good, I don't know, man, maybe 50 or 60 quakes within that area, just within this area here. All these little ones. You got to remember, all these little ones here too are microquakes. So we will keep an eye on it, folks. Not for sure what happened with the swarm or with the stream. It got kicked down, it looks like, again last night. I don't know what's going on. If it gets kicked down again overnight, I will just fire it back up. That's if it wants to do that, or if somebody wants to play games, then I will continue to just fire it back up. That's not going to stop me from streaming. So might be a little interruption, but I will continue. If I notice it, as soon as I notice it, or if I get a comment on one of my videos that the stream was down or got taken down, I will immediately fire it back up. So nothing on my side. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm pretty sure it's YouTube, but I can't be sure. They claim that there's no issues going on with their side. It's not my internet, because this thing runs perfectly smooth. I checked the history of the internet data, and there's no interruptions, no weird incoming traffic, as far as like to my localized ports go. But I'm watching, but we'll continue to start it back up if it gets down again. So anyway, have a good day, folks. We'll talk at you guys a little bit later, and we'll keep an eye on this earthquake swarm going on there at Yellowstone National Park. Peace out.